We are living in extremely challenging times. With the raging coronavirus pandemic, social and civic unrest connected to systemic racism and social injustice, and the seemingly never ending negative news cycle, you might be experiencing a great deal of anxiety and stress. We first need to acknowledge that this is completely understandable. These are unprecedented times, and we need to extend a little grace to ourselves and others with the knowledge that we are all trying to get through this day. Thankfully, there are ways that we can move from fear to contribution by employing some elementary knowledge and skills in order to thrive and flourish in these midst of difficulty and adversity. While stress can be a response to the complex challenges of today, there's a simple formula that I was taught many years ago that can help us understand how do we respond to stress in more thoughtful, deliberate ways. And the formula is as simple as when perceived demands exceed our perceived capabilities to cope with those demands, we experience a negative emotional state known as dysfunctional stress. And dysfunctional stress is our perception that we are not in control of whatever threat or challenge we are faced with. The simple truth is that in order to manage our stress in more functional ways, we need to change our perception of those demands and our capabilities to respond to those demands. Of course, that may seem easier said than done, but we as human beings need to accept that while we cannot control everything around us, we are in control of our emotions. Of course, everybody has different levels of stress because we are complex humans. We may not react to the same circumstances in the same ways. Our ability to cope with stress and to bolster our perceived capabilities relies on our individual knowledge, skills, and personal and professional experience. So let's get into how we might use some of these skills to support this knowledge. Effective stress management is strongly linked to this idea of self-care. And while self-care can seem selfish, it actually has the opposite effect. Let's think about the metaphor, the oxygen mask on the airplane, and the flight attendants asking us to put on the oxygen mask for ourselves before assisting others. And of course, this is applicable in our own lives because you can't help others for very long if you don't take care of yourself first. And we can better serve others by prioritizing our own needs to be the best versions of ourselves in order to better support others. So please start putting your own mask on first, and here are some tips for doing so. First, visualize a better future where you are able to see yourself being more purposeful and appreciative of the gift of life, better connected to family and friends, and how these challenging times did not diminish you, but instead fortified and strengthened you. See yourself in that future state as happier and joyful. Feel a state of happiness and joy and see yourself in it. So secondly, let it go. We can mentally let go of feelings of resentment, disappointment, frustration, anger, and other negativity. And we can work towards this by visualizing actually letting something go. And as the negativity leaves us, opening ourselves up to more positive feelings of bliss, peace, calm, stillness, contentment, joy. Take a deep breath. Deep breathing is a great way to lower stress by sending a message to our nervous system to calm down and relax. It increases the supply of oxygen to our brains and stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which science tells us can help calm our nerves, reducing stress and anxiety. It can also help slow down our thoughts enough to be able to better analyze our perceived demands and our perceived capabilities. It also takes practice. Find gratitude. I can't tell you the number of times that I have found that by just stopping my day and reflecting on 3 to 4 to 5 things that I am grateful for just changes my frame of reference, my mindset in remarkable ways. Turn off the news. The biggest tip that I can share with you is to take these concepts that science and experience are informing us over and over again and to practice them and practice them and practice them. It is not enough to know how to manage stress. We need to implement it in our day to day, especially in these very challenging times. So please put on your mask. Thank you.